Hi, I'm Mackenzie Thomason, and this is my persuasive speech for my Fundamentals of Speech online class at Lebec Community College. My speech is the destruction of the foster care system. The foster care system houses over 670,000 children a year. Most of these children's lives have been changed and will never be normal again. Many of these children have a long road ahead of them after ending the system. The foster care system has been failing children for years. The system needs a change. The foster care system is failing children in the system and the families that are involved by continually placing and replacing the children, preventing them from establishing a healthy home and hurting their future. The Adoption Assistance and Child Welfare Act helped decrease the number of children in the system, but in the 90s, the outburst of crack cocaine and the recession caused a huge increase in children being taken from their homes. Children every year have their lives destroyed due to being put into the foster care system. Many of these children, by the time they get into the system, are emotionally handicapped, and they fail to see that, and that is the only way to access their minds, so we have to heal their hearts. It is never the child's fault. Many times the parental rights were considered before the child's best interest was. Their parents have messed up, but the child should not suffer more when they already have been from their biological parents. In 2000, there was about 500,000 cases of abuse and neglect, but only 291,000 children were put into the system. In 2004, there was 900,000 victims of abuse and 250,000 ended up in foster care. More and more children are going into the system victims of violence or sexual abuse. They should be taken before they're traumatized. The foster care system should be improving and creating love for these misunderstood and hurt children, and instead it is doing them wrong. Taxpayers pay $22 billion a year. That's about $40,000 a child on foster care, and the system is still a mess. The problems don't just stop after they're taken from their parents. Many of them are just beginning. On average, a child remains in the state care for nearly 2 years. Children are sent to unfit homes after just escaping the grasp of their own fit families. Many of the homes are worse than the ones they're taken from. They abuse them or even sexually assault them. Children are commonly taken from a foster home due to the foster parents being unprepared to meet the child's needs. If the system gives them a good home to go to, they eventually will move them into at least 3 more homes. They are often returned back to their parents and experience more maltreatment and then be taken away again. 70% of placement changes have nothing to do with improving the well-being of the child. This is emotionally straining and destroying. When they are taken from their homes or even foster homes, they get to take very little with them at all. We were told to put things in a brown paper bag and get into a car at the age of 4, said Ms. Boone. The majority of children are getting out of the foster system one of 4 ways. They get put with the family, are adopted, they age out, or they just run away. Adoption only happens to 17% of the children, and 57% are returned to their parents. Running away should never be an option, but 2% leave that way. That number should be 0. After a certain age, you are less likely to be adopted. In 2014 alone, more than 22,000 young people between the ages of 18 and 20 were discharged from foster care and sent to live on their own. They're also more likely to be teen parents, chronically unemployed, and live in poverty. This makes it hard on foster parents of teenagers. They also have a huge target for predators running sex trafficking rings. They think they will never have a forever home, so they tend to have a I don't care attitude. And then they think they have no future. They've experienced the impact of abandonment, neglect, and abuse at a very young age. Many are separated from their siblings as well as their parents. Some never get to see their siblings ever again. These children grow up hating their life due to the foster care system. 15% of them will end up in jail or in welfare. Only 2% of them will actually graduate college. There are families all over the country that have to experience this devastating effect on the foster care system. They're hurt over and over again. The system never knows when to stop. They don't check to see if a foster home is safe or not. They don't have enough foster parents, so they let almost anyone be one. They also, is not enough room in a home, are known to take children to hotel rooms to sleep and stay in the caseworker's office during the day. They also are taking children to juvenile detention centers and make them stay there because they don't have room for them in a home. There's also not enough social workers. The recommended number of cases for a social worker is 17, but the number in many states are 3 or 4 times that amount. Sometimes the caseworker is why the child is so deprived. Most children get taken from their parents due to the lack of the family care the family can provide. Poverty has contributed to 52% of the foster care placements. The children that are being taken don't often know why. These families have failed them, and now the system is failing them. Many of them still love the parents even after all the wrong that they have done them. When the children are taken, some will end up back with their grandparents or an aunt or uncle. Most experts now agree that the best thing to do is try to leave them at home if at all possible and provide good services to help the family. The next best thing is to have a family member take the children in. This hurts the family because they don't get the help the children sooner. It makes the parents resent the family members that take in the children in many cases. The system needs to help teach the parents important skills that they need to know. The families that take children in have to have a big heart and know that they could be possibly getting into a bad situation. There's fewer and fewer families signing up to be foster parents. They're opening their homes to children they have never met, but they hope to change their life. Generally, they don't keep children in the same home for a great deal of time. They are removed too quickly and come back even more damaged. Families take in these children from the kindness of their hearts, and many of them have to purchase new clothes every time they get a new child. The child most often then comes with just the clothes they have on, and that's it. This causes the family to spend money that they don't have. They're responsible for raising another person's child. Many of the homes are just like the child's home life. They treat them as if they were their own, and it is wrong. Many times, the foster care system doesn't do the checks and inspections like they're supposed to do. They are so low on foster parents, they take anyone that might be okay. They also don't get rid of the bad homes so that they just ignore them. There's been a few times when a child was killed in a foster home where they weren't cared for like they needed to be, and they were not watched at all. They need to be placed with families that are prepared for their challenging needs. The foster system has many things they need to change for the sake of children and the families that are involved. They hurt too many people when they should just be helping and bringing happiness to people. Hurting innocent children that just want love is a problem. They need to update their system. Foster families need to go through more requirements to ensure they are good places for children. They also need to encourage more qualified people to come and be foster parents. They need to compensate the foster families more as well. They need to lower the re-entry rate, hire more social workers, and recruit more adopted families. They also need to find a place for the children and quit moving them all the time and give the parents one chance after getting them taken away to get them back, and then they're done. If they follow these, the system will be better and create more positive reactions. So they need to change it quick before more children are affected. Thank you, and I hope this helps you and understand my opinion.